Hello students, welcome back to our chapter. So today we will be continuing with our chapter heat. We have already learned in the previous classes about what is heat, what is temperature, how we are measuring temperature with the help of different thermometers. Today we will learn about the transfer of heat, how this heat is being transferred from one body to another, be it a solid to solid, be it solid to liquid, liquid to liquid, liquid to gases, gases to gases, and more of it. So before getting into our chapter, let us have a short look at what exactly is transfer of heat. So what is transfer of heat? Heat flows from a body at a higher temperature to a body at a lower temperature, and this is called transfer of heat. So we all know from the previous classes we have learned and we have remembered that heat flows from a body at a higher temperature to a body at a lower temperature. This process in which the heat is flowing from a body at higher temperature to a body at lower temperature is called transfer of heat. And transfer of heat takes place in three different ways: conduction, convection, and radiation. So first we will learn about conduction. What is conduction? Conduction is the process by which heat is transferred in solids from the hotter end to the colder end. So conduction, we have hence learned that it's a process which helps in transfer of heat in solids only. Conduction does not take place in liquid or gases. It is only taking place in solids from the hotter end to the colder end. So if I give you an example, if you cook with the help of a metal spoon, you will see that the head of the spoon is touching the pan, which is hot because you're heating that end. But after 10 minutes or after 15 minutes, you will see that the portion which you are touching, the other end of the spoon, is also getting heated. How is this happening? It is because of this process called conduction. The heat is being conducted from the hotter end to the cooler end. How is this happening? Let us have a look at the illustration. In the illustration, we are going to discuss an activity which we will do later. So what this activity we are seeing is an iron or aluminium rod or a strip is taken in the laboratory. So this is the metal strip that is being taken in the laboratory. Fix a few wax pieces on at equal distances. These red dots are all wax pieces. We are fixing them on the metal strip at equal distances. Clamp the rod to a stand. So we are attaching this metal rod to a stand. Heat the other end of the rod. So at the other end we are placing a candle and we are heating the other end of the metal strip or the metal rod. The wax pieces begin to melt and fall down from the heated end. So as time is passing, we are seeing that the wax pieces from this particular end, the end where the portion is being heated by the candle, slowly the wax pieces are falling down one by one. This shows that the heat is transferred from the hotter end to the cooler end by conduction. So what is being shown in this activity? Heat is being conducted from the hotter part of the metal strip to the cooler part of the metal strip by conduction. That is the reason the wax pieces are falling down one after the other from the warmer end or from the hotter end. So from conduction, we get to know a few points. Transfer of heat through direct contact. So this will only take place only if the two bodies in between which the transfer of heat is taking place is in direct contact with each other. If the bodies are not in contact with each other, then the transfer of heat will not take place. They will have to be in direct contact. Second, occurs anytime objects at different temperatures are touching each other. So if two objects which are having different temperature are touching each other, conduction is taking place in between them. But if two objects of the same temperature are touching each other, conduction is not taking place in between them. And it is always taking place in case of two objects which are at different temperature, from the body at hotter temperature to a body at cooler temperature. As long as the objects are in contact, transfer of heat will continue until the temperature of the objects is the same. So, as long as these two bodies are in direct contact, heat will be transferred until and unless the temperature of both of the bodies become the same. Because once that happens, there will be no body at a higher temperature or a lower temperature. Both will have the same temperature. So, in that case, conduction will not take place. Example, like the one I told you, if you leave a metal spoon in a pan of soup that you are heating on a stove, it may burn your fingers. The spoon is in direct contact with the hot soup and heat is being transferred to the spoon. Hence, at times you will see nowadays the handle of a pan is made up of an insulator like Bakelite. So if you use a wooden spoon, rather a metal spoon, you will see that the transfer of heat taking place is at a very lesser pace, at a lesser speed. Why? Because wood is an insulator or a bad conductor of heat. This comes to the conclusion that there are two types of materials on the basis of their conduction of heat. One is the conductor and the other is the insulator. So the materials that transfer heat easily are called conductors. An example is metal. That is why metals are used to make saucepans for cooking food, so that the heat transfers faster to the food particles. And materials that slow the transfer of heat are called insulators. Example, wool. This is why wool is used to make winter coats, scarves, hats and gloves. Because in the winter your body is at a higher temperature than the surrounding temperature. If you wear an insulating material like wool, then it traps your body energy and doesn't allow the heat to go outside to the surroundings. Otherwise you will feel cold. You will develop fever. So that is the reason insulators are worn during the winters. Now we will come to our second part, which is convection. The transfer of heat due to movement of molecules of the medium. Now in conduction, remember, the molecules are not moving. In class 6, if you remember, we had drawn three diagrams of solid, liquid and gas based on the packaging of their molecules. So in solids, the molecules are very, very tightly packed. They cannot move. But in case of convection, which is taking place in liquids and gases, the molecules can move because they are not tightly packed with each other. So transfer of heat due to movement of molecules is convection. And it is the process by which heat is transferred in liquids and gases from the hotter part to the colder part. Let us have a look at one of the activities. Now before going into the activities, I would ask you to remember if you have seen tea boiling in a saucepan. I believe everybody has seen tea boiling in a saucepan in the kitchen. So have you seen the movement of the leaves? The leaves always move from the bottom portion to the upper portion. The same demonstration is what we will see in this activity with the help of potassium permanganate. So what is done in this activity? A round bottom flask is taken and filled with water, and then it is kept on a tripod stand. Three legs are there of this stand, so that is why it is called a tripod stand. Tri means three, pod means legs. Put a crystal of potassium permanganate in it. Now potassium permanganate is a chemical. It is available in the laboratory. You are required to ask for the crystal, and once you get the crystal, you put it in the water in the round bottom flask. After that, what we are doing is we are heating the entire setup with the help of a burner. The water at the bottom becomes hot and rises up, and cold water from the top moves down. The same thing that we notice while boiling tea leaves. The tea leaves at the bottom, they move up because the water in which the tea leaves are there in the bottom, they are getting heated faster, and the heated water moves upward and makes room for the colder water at the top to come down. So you see the movement of the tea leaves, the same way the movement takes place in case of this potassium permanganate as well. So what we see is the water becomes hot and rises up, and cold water from the top moves down, and this process continues until all the water in the particular round bottom flask gets heated. This shows that heat is transferred by convection. So the same way the tea leaves will be moving when you heat tea is the same way the potassium permanganate color will be seen to be moved in order to understand that convection is taking place. So you will see that at first the bottom portion is becoming a little purplish and the purple water is moving upwards. So now you will see after some time the top portion of the flask is purple and the bottom is colorless, and after more time you will see that the entire water has turned purplish in color. This is happening due to convection. Example one more. If you keep one hand above the flame and one hand on the side of the flame, the hand at the top feels hot because the air above is heated by convection. The hand at the side does not feel as hot because there is no convection. So we have seen convection occurring in liquids by the activity, and by the example we have seen that convection is taking place in gases as well. Because if you keep your hand above a flame, you will see that the hand which is placed at the top of the flame is getting heated, but the hand which is placed at the side is not getting heated, meaning this is also, the air is also transferring heat by the process of convection. Now we will come to a very interesting part which is called ventilation in rooms. I am sure you have seen that air conditioners are placed at the top of your rooms, near the ceiling, near the roof, but heaters are placed near the bottom, near the floor. Why is this happening? The same phenomenon. Heated air which is being lighter during summers, what happens in your room is the room is heated. So the air in the room is heated. It's hot and it's lighter. So if you switch on your air conditioner, the air which is at the top portion of your room becomes cooler, and cooler air is heavier than warmer air. So cooler air being heavier, it moves downward and you start feeling cooler, and the heated air which is at the bottom, it being lighter, it moves upward, and once it moves upward, it is also being cooled by the cooler or the AC in your room. So that is why air conditioners are placed at the top portion of the room, so that the cooler air, after it gets heavier, it moves down, and the heated air which is at the bottom of your room gets being lighter, it moves up and is cooled down, and the cyclic process is maintained until the entire room becomes cold. Same for heater. The heater is placed at the bottom of the room. Why? Because in cold countries, the air inside the room is cold. So if you switch on the heater which is near the floor, the air at the bottom of the room becomes heated up, and it being heated up faster, hot air is lighter, it moves up, and the cold air being heavier, it goes down and it is heated up again by the heater. This continues until the entire room is heated up. So the same phenomenon for air conditioning and for heating. Air conditioners are hence placed at the top of the rooms, and heaters are hence placed at the bottom of the room. So this is how ventilation in room is also done. You will see that there are certain ventilators placed at the top of your room. Why is it being placed at the top of the room? So that in summer, the cold air might enter your room, and the cooler air being heavier, it settles down, and the warmer air being lighter moves up and it can be removed from the room. Now let us have a look at something we are all aware about: land breeze and sea breeze. So sea breeze takes place during the morning. What happens during sea breeze in the morning? So you will see, you are aware of it, that the land gets heated up faster than the water source or the sea, and as a result the air above the land, it becomes warmer faster and it rises up. Rising air helps to form clouds. Now this cooler air which is at the top of the water body, it sinks, and the sinking air spreads along the surface. So warmer air above the land rises up, cooler air which is above the sea, it sinks, and this cooler air moves towards the land. This air, hence cooler air which is moving from the sea to the land, is called the sea breeze, and it takes place during the day. Now let us have a look at land breeze. We all know that at night the land cools down faster than the sea. So the air above the land, it being cooler, it sinks down at the bottom, and the air which is above the sea, it takes time to cool down. It is still warm because sea takes a longer time to get cooler than the land. The land is cools faster during the night, and the sea cools slowly during the night. So during the night, what is happening? Cooler air from the land is blowing towards the sea, and this air is rising to help in the formation of clouds. As the cool air is moving from the land to the sea, it is called land breeze. So this is also a process of convection. This is also an example of convection. We will complete till convection in this particular video. We will start learning about radiation in the next video. Until then, if you have any doubts regarding this video, do not forget to comment in the comment section your questions. And if you have understood it, then also you might write it down that you have understood it well. Thank you everyone. Have a good day.